Hello, welcome to another episode of Windows Phone 7 learning series. My name is Dhananjay Kumar, and in today's episode we are going to see how we can protect password or any important data in Windows Phone 7 using Data Protection API. Data Protection API allows you to protect your data without providing any key what any popular encryption algorithm require. If you want to protect your password or any data, it's very simple. Just call protect function of protect data class to encrypt the data, and to decrypt the data you need to call unprotect function of protect data class. The usual way to protect your password or any important data is first encrypt the data or using data protection API or calling that protection method. After encrypting it, write the protected or encrypted data to the isolated storage file. While decrypting it and reading it back, you need to read the protected data from the isolated storage file and then decrypt data using data protection API. Protect function require two parameters. One is byte array and another is the entropy type you want to use while encrypting your password or data. So if you are having password, you are reading a password from a text box, then you will have to convert that text of that text box into byte array and then pass that byte array to the protect function. In the same way, you need to read the encrypted saved file data from your isolated storage file in a byte array and then pass it to the unprotect function. Data protection API class protect data resides inside the namespace system.security.cryptography, and it got two functions, protect and unprotect, and you can see on your screen that it requires both of the function requires two parameters, one byte array which is actually user data and the encrypted data, and the optional entropy. Here I have created a Windows Phone 7 project by choosing target version Windows Phone 7.1. Just make a note that data protection API is not available in Windows Phone 7 version. This is only available in Windows Phone 7.5. So make sure that when you are going through this episode and creating the project, that target version of your Windows Phone 7 project is Windows Phone 7.1. Now coming back to design, I have put two buttons and one text box. One button is to encrypt and save the data given in the text box, and another button is to decrypt and read the data, the protected data from the isolated storage file, and display it back in the same text box. To work with protection data, first you need to include namespace system.security.cryptography. And in the click event of encrypt button, our input is txt data is in txt data.txt. We need to convert that into the byte array because we know that protect function require a byte array to encrypt. So let us convert that to byte data to protect equal to txt data.txt, and to convert a string to byte array we'll use encoding dot unicode dot get bytes, and here we are passing that string. So here we got the data to protect, and this byte array, the data to protect, we need to pass it to the protection method protect data dot protect, and you can see that it requires two input parameter, one the byte array, another is the entropy. So pass data to protect here, and that is, and pass null if you don't want to provide any entropy, and you can see that it is returning a byte array. So the encrypted data is in a byte array, and we can say it like encrypted data. So at this point we have the encrypted data. Next step, we need to save this byte array in some isolated storage file such that we can decrypt and read it further. To save encrypted data, I have created a function called save to file, and inside this function I'm performing a very basic isolated storage operation. Here I'm taking the user store and then creating a isolated storage file stream, and then writing the byte array to that file stream here. So this is a pretty simple isolated storage operation we are performing inside the save to file function, which takes two input parameter. One first parameter is a byte array, which is essentially our protected data, and then the file name. And then I'm calling that here after the encryption being done, and passing this encrypted data here and some file name, my file. So now let us go ahead and run this app in while debugging. So here our app is. Just give some value you want to protect. I'm giving debug mode, and on click event of this button, this text debug mode would get encrypted and saved in the isolated storage file. So here you can say, if you see the data to protect, the number of bytes in data to protect is 18. You can see here, and once encryption is done, you can see in the encrypted data the number of bytes are 380. So after encryption, the size of the byte array has been changed from 18 to 380, and then we are calling the save to file function, which is performing normal save operation. So in this way we encrypted and saved the data in the file. To decrypt the file, first we need to read the protected data from the isolated storage file, and then we'll be calling that protected data.unprotect function. So to read the file from isolated storage, I have written a function here called read from file. It takes a file name as input parameter and returns byte array. Inside the function, I am performing the basic isolated storage operation by creating the user store and then reading the file as a stream. So in the click event of decrypt function, first you need to read the protected data from file. Let us call it byte protected data, and call the function read from file. Here we need to pass the file name which we are passing while saving the protected data to the isolated store. The same file name we need to pass here, my file. Once we have the protected data as a byte array, we let us call it, for clarity, encrypted data. Then we need to unprotect it or decrypt it by calling protected data dot unprotect and pass this encrypted data. If you remember, while encrypting we did not give any entropy, so same way don't pass any entropy here, and it returns us the byte array. Byte, we can say simple data. So here in this byte array we got the simple data. Now we need to convert that to a string. So to convert that to a string, say result equal to, again call encoding dot unicode dot get string, and here we need to pass the byte array, that is simple data, and then the second is 0 and simple data dot length, and then we can say txt data dot text equal to result. So what we have done here, that we read the protected data from the file, then we unprotected that by providing the same interrupt which we provided while encrypting the data, and then converted that byte array to the string using encoding.unicode.getString, and then binding back the unprotected data to the text box. So let us go ahead and run it to see how it works. Again, put some breakpoint in both encrypt and decrypt. So here we are, let us say we are giving again debug mode, and go and say encrypt and save. Here we have data to protect. The length of this byte array is 18, and after encrypted data this is 380. Now let us see. So here our data is there. Now just go and change this value to something else. Since our unprotected data we are going to display in the same text box, so just I made it empty, and click decrypt and read. Here if you come back, and you can see that again your byte length of byte array of encrypted data is 380, and the simple data is 18, exactly the same what we had in the encrypt while we were encrypting. Now go ahead and run it, and you can see we got the data back. So this is all how we can protect and unprotect our data in Windows Phone 7. Actually what we done, again to summarize, that we use the protect data.protect method to encrypt the data, and if you see we have not provided any key here. In the same way we used protect data.unprotect method to decrypt the data. After encryption we save the data to a certain file inside the isolated storage, and then read it back from here, and then unprotected or decrypted it. This is what all I have for today's episode. We saw how to protect and unprotect the data using Data Protection API. For update about my blog, you can follow me on Twitter, that is debug_mode, and please visit my blog debugmode.net for any articles and updates. Thank you so much.